Dan Prevett here outside of the Pitch Fest on the third day of the Sunscreen Film Festival. I'm here with Phil Cooke and Dean Batali. They're both writers and producers in television and film. How do you guys think the experience overall was in there with people coming in, pitching their ideas?
I think it went really well. The interesting thing about this festival is that I had an enormous number of people come who had already done a short or a series of webisodes based on their idea. So they just weren't coming with an idea or a script. They'd been out there shooting already, and that says a lot about their determination, their drive, their enthusiasm, and that scores a lot of points with me.
Yeah, it was really fun listening to what people had. I think Phil's right. The people who have already done a little bit are we're going to listen to a little harder. And then there were those who also hadn't written scripts yet, though they were in really good sort of a gestation phase, and I was actually more excited to hear about them because then we weren't ripping apart something they had spent a year writing or something. But the ones who had done like shorts or some webisodes really kind of were halfway there.
And it also says something about the commitment of the filmmakers in this part of the country. I think there's a really interesting group of very passionate filmmakers down here that are trying to do some very interesting things out there. So I thought it was good all the way around.
Now, you said something interesting. I thought it was interesting. When you came out, you said that the best way to go into a pitch is know your story and know the room. Can you explain what you mean by that a little bit?
Or own the room. I'm a big believer that when you pitch a project to someone, they're investing in you as much as they are the project or the idea. So it's very important that you develop a rapport with them, that you understand that when you come in there, you're relaxed, you're confident, because if they're not comfortable with you, they're not going to be comfortable with the project. So I think it's a big part of communication skills. Somebody asked me the other day, what are the 3 most important things about being a producer? And I said, people skills, people skills, people skills. I think in all those cases, you need to understand how to relate people, how to sell your idea. It makes a huge difference.
I was hired for a job once because the woman said, I only work with people I want to go to parties with. And I don't think she was coming on to me. But I think, we feel it in the pitch. It's like, we have you for 2 minutes. If we want to work with you, we're going to be spending hours and weeks and years with you, perhaps. Do we want to work with this person? So if they come in nervous or, sweaty or wearing a backpack,
weird.
You go, I'm not sure, you're halfway, then you still have to win us over. So Phil is right. You're listening to it from that, do I want to work with this person? And also then, do they have a real control of the story and kind of what their movie is and what it's about, what their project is?
At the same time, though, we've been out here interviewing people who went through the Pitch Fest, and everybody was very, very positive about the reactions they got. So it doesn't seem like you guys are really in the dream-crushing business. You guys didn't really tear any guts out.
We thought about being the Simon Cowell of the pitching business and just ripping some people, but
both of you being Simon Cowell, just no mercy.
Who could have less mercy? No, you know what? To me, it's not about crushing people; it's about giving them hope. And I think now, obviously, there's some people that you feel like they just don't get this, and maybe they should go sell insurance or sell real estate. However, if people are really passionate and committed about this, if I was an expert, if even Hollywood was that good, we'd all be millionaires. Every idea would hit, but you just never know. There's a huge, if I'll die before I totally understand the TV or film audience out there. So you never know what idea could have potential.
Plus, the problem with pitching is pitching and writing is very different, and that's one of my frustrations with Hollywood. Is some of the best writers I've worked with couldn't pitch to save their life, and some of the best pitchers can't write. So it's sort of like, we'll hear an idea and say, well, this is kind of intriguing. And, we have so many scripts of ourselves that we have to read. We don't have time to read every script, but you never know that the bad pitch might be a good script. But
now, just for fun, you guys both being writers and producers, do you guys have any good, you had to start somewhere. There had to be a few moments where you went into pitch meetings like this, just young and terrified. Do you have any good stories, anything like that you'd like to share?
I pitched a documentary project to a television network, and when I walked in, he had just finished with a guy he had finished a project with, and it was a horrible experience. And the network executive was so angry, so furious, he just spewed for about 20 minutes. This guy had left, I walked in, he just vented, man, and he talked about how miserable experience and how angry he was, and I just sat there. And I let him go, and as soon as he finished, he just kind of took a deep breath and said, okay, all right, whatever you want to do, it's fine, I'm in, let's do it. And I sold the project without opening my mouth, and it really taught me the value of listening. I don't have to go into a room and talk the whole time. Just being a human being and listening makes a difference.
The best meetings I've ever had are ones where I simply ask the person questions about what they, where they grew up, what their life is like, and then I left the meeting and they go, oh, this was a fantastic meeting because they got to talk about themselves. But my realization was whenever you're pitching anything, TV shows or films, executives will always ask the one question you didn't prepare for. I went in and pitched The Love Bug too. This was like 10 years ago. And I had it beat out, 30 perfect beats. It was like, I was using The Fugitive as a template, and it was just so exciting. I thought I had him on the edge of the seat. And the first question out of the executive's mouth was, okay, now Herbie is the love bug. How do you see him instigating romance? I don't know. He's jumping off a dam. Isn't that enough? And no, it wasn't. He had to like bring people together. So they're always going to ask. You have to go in having prepared for every single question, and then know that they're going to ask the question you didn't prepare for.